Hello once again, YouTube. Duke Nukem 2417 here. And first thing, this is Dark Arena on the GBA, the emulation of course. And secondly, this is my thoughts on ProJared's return to YouTube. Last week, Jared Nabenbauer, I think that's how his last name is pronounced, ProJared, released a video dealing with the accusations that were filed against him in May of this year, which feels like ages ago, to be quite honest. He released a video dealing with those accusations, and originally my plan for this video was to do a 3-part series basically shooting down each of his rebuttals of those accusations and throwing around vitriol and being all, prove me wrong, that kind of thing. That's not going to be this video, though, because I've had some time to reflect on things, and to be quite honest, ProJared pretty much nailed it on the head with the title of his video, "You've Been Lied To," in all caps, for effect, you know. But that's neither here nor there. This is about my thoughts on his return, and for those of you who didn't watch that 42-minute video of his, I'm going to go into what he said in that, and what I think about each of the things that he said. He starts off by talking about the photo sharing, and he fully admits that yes, he did share them, and ask for photos from those he sent photos of his own too. The catch being, everyone involved was, in fact, eligible. I'm not going to use any other term other than eligible. They were eligible to send and receive these kinds of photos, and they had no problems with it. So, yeah. Now, two specific accusers of his, who he goes into detail about and their accusations and all that, they claimed that he knew they were not eligible to send and receive these kinds of photos. And the first, I'm not going to name any names apart from Heidi and Holly, because, you know, that whole situation is a separate thing from the photos. These two accusers basically, one of them had suffered an injury the previous year in September 2015 that left them with brain damage and left them prone to episodes of psychosis, hallucinations, having to spend the vast majority of the day sleeping. And at one point, when they claimed that they were interacting with ProJared, his Tumblr was being hacked. May of 2016. So if this individual wasn't hallucinating their entire interactions with Jared, I still kind of have difficulty believing that someone could hallucinate entire online interactions with someone, but whatever. What do I know? They could have been interacting with someone, it just wasn't him. They might have actually been interacting with the individual who hacked Jared's Tumblr, and who later on deleted the Tumblr. So, there's that. And I had a theory, I say theory in air quotes because it was more of a joke, that Jared doesn't remember this individual because he got blackout drunk, like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. But yeah, that's not even an actual theory, that's more of a joke than anything else, because and their periods of hallucination and psychosis and all this stuff lasted from September of 2015 to August of 2016. Going longer than their apparent interactions with Jared. So there's that to consider. And the other accuser of these two had some kind of obsession with the Game Grumps, apparently. And I made a big stink about that in the original takes of this video, which I haven't uploaded. I may upload those for posterity's sake. But my point of belief at the time was, oh, the Game Grumps are becoming popular. I'm seeing the Game Grumps on the front page of YouTube again all of a sudden, and he just so happens to say, oh, this accuser was obsessed with the Game Grumps. You know, I thought... I had the tinfoil hat on for that bit. I'll admit it. But it is not all that far-fetched to me that this individual would have been obsessed with the Game Grumps, and even going so far as to try and throw someone else's career under the bus to be acknowledged by them. As twisted as that may be. People have done stranger things for attention from those they admire and obsess over. So, there's that, and this individual also lied about being eligible to receive and send photos. And again, I'm using the term eligibility here. Some of you may discern what I'm actually meaning to say or intending to say. But yeah, this individual lied about being eligible for those photos, of which I will not go into further detail, because you probably already know what I'm talking about. They lied about their eligibility for those, and Jared had a screenshot to prove it. And they also uploaded cropped screenshots of their chats. This individual did interact with Jared, but they uploaded somewhat altered and cropped screenshots of these interactions, these chats. And of course these alterations made Jared look like he was in the wrong. So there's that. And there was also another individual, Pamela something or other, who was with Toaster Ghost and Gamers Next Door, who believes that she was accosted by Jared at an E3 panel. Now, my brother saw the video of that panel. I haven't seen this video, but my brother saw the video. If you remember the Rosemary vs. Ali, Demon vs. the Slayer wrestling DVD review on my channel, my brother was the one narrating most of that. He saw the video of this E3 panel, and the individual who Pamela thought was ProJared has a kind of similarity to him, apparently, but it isn't him. And Jared himself has said that he wasn't at E3, and he believes that what Pamela says happened actually happened. It's just that he wasn't the one who perpetrated this upon her. So there's that. And again, he's not saying, oh, she's just lying, da-da-da. He believes that what happened to her did happen, but he wasn't there, and he wasn't the one who did it. So, yeah. And there's the one accuser of his who was obsessed with the Game Grumps. There was a whole bunch of blogs that this individual went to that I am not going to go into, because they had an obsession, to put it lightly, with one of the Game Grumps in particular, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, and he does go into the whole thing with Holly and Heidi near the end of the video, which was another point of contention in my original take on this whole thing, because he spends about 36 minutes talking about the photos. And only in the last section of the video does he mention Holly and Heidi. Apparently it was Heidi who did not want to end the relationship. Jared wanted to end the relationship. Heidi said, screw you. And Jared felt threatened. He felt like he was being controlled. And that whole narrative thing that Heidi put out there right after he posted that they were separating, everyone's view of what was going on was pretty much shaped by that, and then by all these other rapid-fire claims. It's easy to understand why everyone jumped on, and he even mentions how the original ProJared's subreddit was vandalized to hell and back, and he was kicked out of it without being able to give his side of the story. There is a ProJared 2 subreddit, which he is involved with, I believe. And he even forgives everyone at the end of the video who jumped on the bandwagon and who just automatically assumed that he was in the wrong, that his accusers were in the right. He forgives all of them. And I will include myself among that number because I made a few videos discussing the ProJared trash fire, kind of making light of the whole thing. I will admit to that. And yeah, I was going to do a 3-parter on this whole thing about why I thought ProJared was full of it and why his explanation was full of it. But after reflecting on it, after taking some time to reflect on it, I don't think anyone was particularly blameless in the Holly Heidi situation.
Be careful.
I will say that. I don't think anyone was particularly blameless there. But, you know, I do choose to believe his side of the story about the photos and those 2 specific accusers, because he put up some really good points refuting their claims and etc. etc. And some people are going to say, well, I don't really care what some people are going to say regarding that, but if Jared is watching this video by some random chance, I will say this. I apologize for calling your whole situation a trash fire. It was not my place to judge or to label. And I fell off the platform again. And you already chose to forgive everyone watching that video last week, but if you want to forgive me again for the whole labeling of the situation as a trash fire, I'd be more than happy to accept that. So that's gonna... I fell off again, really? That's gonna do it for this video. I wanted to get this done by the end of Labor Day, so if you're watching this video hearing my voice right now, I have indeed gotten it done before the end of the day, which is good. I will eventually post the video on how to get to the secret level in SIGIL. For the time being, I'm doing other things. At any rate, that'll be it for this video. Thank you all so very much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And as always, stay tuned for more. Hail to the king, baby.